Well, I hope you can see this. I'm going to read you something. I'm kind of in a hurry, so I don't have it set up the best that it could be, but I just wanted to show you the rod of God, or the supposed what it might look like. But I went on the Air Force site too, and this one is called, it's from We Are the Mighty. On the Air Force one that they put out, that was in 2020, the rod hadn't been used. I found out it was dropped on a part of Tonga, January 2022. So let me read you what we got here. Just a moment. The 107 County Outer Space Treaty, signed in 1967, prohibits nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons being placed on or used from Earth's orbit. What they didn't count on was U.S. Air Force most simple weapon ever, the tungsten rod that could hit a city with the explosion power of an intercontinental ballistic missile. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. used what they called lazy dog bombs. These were simply solid steel pieces less than 2 inches long, fitted with fins. There was no explosion. They would simply drop by the hundreds from planes flying above Vietnam. The Lazy Dog Project, aka kinetic bombardment, could reach speeds up to 500 miles per hour as they fell to the ground, and could penetrate 9 inches of concrete after being dropped from as little as 3,000 feet. The idea is like shooting bullets at a target, except instead of losing velocity as it travels, the projectile is gaining velocity and energy and will be expended on impact. They were shotgunning a large swath of jungle, raining bullet-sized death at high speeds. That's how Project Thor came to be. Instead of hundreds of small projectiles from a few thousand feet, Thor used a large projectile from a few thousand miles above the earth. The rods from God idea was a bundle of my cat's yapping just a minute, was a bundle of telephone pole size, 20 feet long, 1 foot in diameter tungsten rods dropped from orbit, reaching speeds up to 10 times of the speed of sound. I heard they're even 2 foot around, up to 2 foot. The rod itself would penetrate hundreds of feet into the earth, destroying any potential hardened bunkers or secret underground sites. More than that, when the rod hits, the explosion would be up on par with the magnitude of a ground penetrating nuclear weapon, but with no fallout. It would take 15 minutes to destroy a target with such a weapon. One courier user who works in defense aerospace industry quoted a cost of no less than $10,000 per pound to fire anything into space, with 20 cubic feet of dense Tuscan weighing in at just over 24,000 pounds. The math is easy. Just one rod would be prohibitively expensive. The cost of $230 million per rod was unimaginable during the Cold War. These days, not so much. The Bush administration even considered revisiting the idea to hit underground nuclear sites in rogue nations in the years following 9/11. Interestingly enough, the cost of a single Minuteman III ICBM was $7 million in 1962 when it was first introduced. 57 million adjusted for inflation. The trouble with the nuclear payload is that it is designed to penetrate deep into the surface, and the fallout from such a nuclear device can be devastating to surrounding and potentially friendly areas. A core takeaway from the concept of weapons like Project Thor is that that hypersonic weapons packed a significant punch and might be the future of global warfare. More on We Are the Mighty. Then it says that time pilots dropped terrifying darts of their own planes at the enemy. I better not read anymore because the people that are having wars right now is mentioned, and the Britain's main trapetoids in World War II. Yeah, I can't mention any more of that, so I'll leave it there. So I thought I'd kind of cover that kinetic weapons, the rods of God, Thor project weapon. So, all right, everybody, thank you for joining me. I know somebody over on Bruce Sees All had mentioned knowing about that too, and I had read an article, probably in like 2018, and I know that the Chinese have this technology also, and that would just stand to reason. And I was just reading some of the other people that did, so yeah, it's and that can be on satellites and whatever. So I have a feeling that's kind of what maybe their plans were initially. I guess we'll see. But I can't believe everything I'm told anyway, because I know there's a firmament. And I also know that, I don't know. I guess whatever is meant to be is meant to be, but don't fear anything. God's with us, and every day is like exactly the same. No. All right, everybody. I love you all. Talk to you soon.